out, you know damn well that's not no Southeast Asia. If it is Southeast Asia, dog, it's definitely a black man. I don't care where you was at. Yeah. Before we go any further, I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Muslim, not Hebrew, Israelite, none of that. I'm just an observer of truth. And, they revealing that all the time. Some people say, well, he don't exist. He didn't exist. I mean, they drawing the picture in the 1300s, 1100s, probably earlier than that, of a black man. I don't know what's wrong with it. They got the statues of him over there that's ancient. The Black Madonna, that's ancient over there. So come on, man. We got wives in the building. Peace, Lord. Also, but come on, man. Ancient relics, man, of Jesus being black. Yahshua being black. Who want to debate that? That's an old picture right there. For the 1300, they found in a Russian cellar, a cellar in Russia, basement in Russia. I think it was a museum, up under the museum. They dug them out. Yeah. Jesus was a righteous man, a Muslim, prophet. And they used his name to show their dirty religion, which is Christianity. But, once we get, let's say, 5 in the building, I'm going to upload the video footage of the brother over there in Russia. He bear witness to the black Jesus photos. He going to show us photos. He going to go through the museum, the cellar, and he's going to examine the pictures close. Now, this is crazy, right? Because you can see the hair like wool in that picture. This is crazy because some people in the comments, the trolls, they say, well, because some pictures, they put the light, they gave them that glow. You know how people got that, black people got that glow, gold hue in his face. And they said, look, he was late. The picture old, that's why it turned dark. Come on, man. Stop. 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 Come on, man. Stop it. We're not gonna do that. But without further ado, let's pull the facts out. Jesus was a righteous man, prophet, a Muslim son, world Muslim, made born righteous. And they use his name to shield their dirty religion, which is Christianity. Without further ado, they bring a brother up that went over there to Russia and bear witness to in the cellar, in the basement, where they tried to hide it, but they couldn't. Let's get into it.
What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. I want to show a video with you all how Europe is starting to bring out the sellers, the paintings back in the 1500s, 1600s, and how they were depicted of people, Jesus, Mary.
This is Russian Icons by Father Vladimir Ivanov. I hope I didn't butcher that name, but this is a book that is highly coveted by different circles. Because it has the black icons. It has the history of black people in places like Russia, in Italy, in places all over Europe. This book can range from $1,300 to $3,000, so it's not an easy book to get. I actually borrowed this book from a friend, but this book has a lot of interesting depictions in it. A lot of them pertaining to the Bible. Like right here, this is the Transfiguration of Christ, and you see it's black people in caves, I believe, what it looks like. It's black people in the whole picture, but this is knowledge that escapes black people here in America. It's definitely something that we would never see or never hear about in the educational system. Now, I'm pretty sure there's people that are black history college students majoring in black history or world history, and they never seen nothing like this before. At least not from the standpoint of Europe, This is the crucifixion of Christ, and in it we see angels, black angels. The people surrounding him are black. It's very interesting because the images that we see are contrary to what we have known our whole lives, or what we have been taught our whole lives. Like I'll say it again, like these type of images of antiquity escape black people here in America, and I can say all people, for in general, just people in general don't know. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of Caucasian people and people of all nationalities that don't know the extent that black people covered the earth. And in many cases, like here, like what you see, were in rulership positions. Like this looks like a king.
So that's why America emphasized, the Caucasian Jesus so much. But they know they had to hide it in America. You know what I'm saying? They had to hide it in America. Keep it away from us. But they can't no more. Look at that. That's St. Nicholas right there. I don't know why the volume got low like that. I guess he ain't talking. He just showing the pictures. Yeah. So all over the world, you got these images of Jesus the 12 disciples, Saint Nicholas, right? No, that's supposed to be Moses right there, I believe. So you got these images of all these black biblical people that was hidden from us in America. You know, you ain't want the slave to see herself in greatness. So what you do? You switch the imagery up. You know, you switch the perception up. You feel me? That look like a half a nigga there. Them look. They see they got to slip some half a niggas in there. But you know how it be. Yvette was good. Jay was good. Look at all these beautiful pictures. They say this book is $3,000 to get. $300, depending on the condition you want the book in. But look at all this.
This is George the Dragon Slayer right here.
Most of the icons of the museum here, and the ones that we've been discussing so far, are very old, part of the ancient tradition of Russian iconography. Anyone who knows anything about icons will immediately recognize this image as the Trinity, or otherwise known as the Hospitality of Abraham of Andrei Rublev. This is not the original. The original is in Moscow in Russia, of course, but this is a wonderful replica that was commissioned by the museum to hang here in Clinton. What we're looking at is three angels who visited, three strangers visited Abraham, and he showed them great hospitality, and they are seen as representing the three persons of the Trinity. And in this representation, we see Christ in the center. This band on his arm shows that he is a priest. And something to note, that even though faintly reproduced here, because this is as they appear in the original, which is in Moscow, we have the tree and the mountain bowing down to their creator. And this reflects the hierarchy. And also, if we look at the two figures, they're each looking at God the Father, because Andrei Rublev was a Russian, and we believe that the Spirit and the Son both proceed from the Father. Now, if I just show you another replica, we have here an icon, or a replica of an icon by another very famous iconographer. The Rublev dates from 1411, the original. This is by a Russian iconographer about 100 years later, called Dionysius. And the thing to notice about this, and once again the original is in Moscow, is the stylization is very distinctive, and it's based upon line with very little modeling, and it's almost as if he's just colored in an outline, and that's very distinctive of the style of Dionysius. This is Christ in Majesty, one of the traditional images in the iconographic tradition. This particular one was painted in the 16th century, and first of all, just look at the size of it. This will have been in a very large church, high up, and people will have seen this from a distance. And it must have been very striking in its original position. We have the four faces of the cherubim, which are described in the vision of Ezekiel. And we have an eagle, an angel, a bull or an ox, here's the bull and the ox, and here's a lion. And as we know, these have come to represent the four evangelists, and the reason historically that the church chose to have four gospels was that each one corresponded to the four evangelists carrying the word of God out to the four corners of the world. And of course that is our hope, to be in heaven with Christ and participating in the beatific vision. And So when we see Christ, we will know him, and everything is revealed, everything is sharply defined. Within the halo itself, what we see are the letters that are equivalent to, in whatever language is used, of I am who I am. In Greek it might be the letters, which I think this is, of he who is, which of course is the same as Yahweh. Always in the icon of Christ, the halo has the cross within it. So if you're ever uncertain as to who the figure is, you shouldn't be really, but if ever you are, and you see that cross in the halo, then you know that you're looking at the figure of Christ.
Look at, check out your Pope kneeling to the black Jesus. Black man. Can't get this shit up. Can't get shit out the line. Oh, you. The funny thing about it, and I said this ain't no new information. They put this shit out about a year ago. These motherfucker Vladimir Putin put it out, but they ain't want to believe it. They like, oh, that's that's why I'll be telling y'all, don't feel bad about
dell'umiltà. E mi permetta di dire una cosa, ho pensato a lei, tanto umile durante il suo pontificato.
Grazie, che dono.
Ci ha dato tanto esempio di
man.
davvero, gentilezza.
Non dimentichiamo. Grazie.
Ho pensato a lei.
But you ask the average motherfucker, they gonna say,
Io non conoscevo questa vocazione della Madonna.
by that, you know, that he said for master cycle that they do.
Think about it, 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 think about it.
Yeah, that was a little spill, a little build on it, you know, because you go to church, you go to any church, they is not going to have a black Jesus up there. If it's one right now, if anybody been to a Jesus and they got a church and they had a black Jesus up, put it in the comments. I'll wait. Put it in the comments. That's because nobody did. You feel me? I'm going to tell you the closest until this day, the only church that put an image of a black Jesus up is in the windows. And that church is on Lake Avenue. Right on the corner of Boynton and Springwood Ave. We call it Springwood down in Asbury Park. You go in there from outside, if go in the corner, go in front of Wade Barbershop, right? Shout out to Wade, brother Wade. Go to his barbershop, get a haircut, and then I want you to walk out the door, stand in the doorway, right? I want you to stand in the doorway, look across the street at the church, look up in the window. You're going to see, I believe you're going to see Jesus in the middle. And I believe you're going to see two of his disciples on the side of him and mosaic glass right on the Ave. That's Wade Barbershop. Go in there, get a haircut, or give a donation, whatever you're going to do. Get a final call, being pie, bosom oil, or something. But go in there, show some love, and say, and go in the doorway, right? And look up at the mosaic glass. Right there. Just look across the street up in the window, and you're going to see Black Jesus. I want to know who made that glass. We need to find that out. Yeah, we need to find out who made that. Official. Official, you heard? Real shit. So, what did y'all learn tonight? That you come from greatness. You know? My question is, though. My question is, right? You know, why nobody not paying homage to the mere truth about our history? Like, why is it always hidden? I know the answer, but I would like for y'all to participate and use that noggin. Why do you think it's so suppressed? Anybody? Why do you think they hide the truth all the time about our history? I tell you why. You know, they can't profit off of us. You know, they can't make a buck off of us. You know, if you know the science that, you know, churches within the heart, you know, you wouldn't have to run and get your donation every day. If you knew that, to tell you the truth, if half of y'all really understood the truth and know that greatness look like yourself, you will be fighting that. You'll be upset. Say that to even say this. Half of y'all that seen this footage still don't believe it because you brainwashed. You know, you rather get that greatness to another motherfucker because you ain't used to having nothing. You know, a lot of y'all feel like, you know, the truth is too much responsibility for y'all to regurgitate. I mean, you know, to accept. So you said, nah, give it to the other man, let him be it. Give it to them, let them be Jesus. And you know, I'm living too foul and too much responsibility on me. Give my greatness to somebody else, man. You feel me? Trying to fuck the live up. Nothing new. Yeah, they trying to fuck the live up. Ain't nothing new. I'm not sure what's good, man. What's going on? want to know what the church people got to say about that, though. You know, what y'all got to say about that? Are y'all gonna go, question the pastor, the preacher? Or y'all just gonna, y'all gonna have questions for y'all preacher? Y'all gonna leave it at that? What y'all gonna do about it? I know what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna act like y'all ain't see it and go on with your life, you know? Knowing the truth, y'all gonna go to that church and praise that motherfucking porcelain God that y'all been praising, because y'all afraid. Y'all afraid to question the motherfuckers that y'all giving donations to every Sunday. Even every motherfucking twice a week, some of y'all. They had to question these motherfuckers. I was at a motherfucking church, I ain't gonna say no names. And I got up and asked him, I said, yo, I was respectful. He said, it's only me I see here, and I'm wise, eternal, I'm God, body, and no one has control over my thoughts, and knowing I'm God. That's great. My free was good. But a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of people is misled and been misled about the identity of this God called Jesus. And it's sad. We got a lot of people that look like us that teach the rhetoric, knowing that man ain't Caucasian, knowing that they got hundreds of photos of them in other countries depicting him looking like us. But to keep the control, they keep everybody in a controlled mind state. They steal that information, they steal that identity from you and tell you ain't come from greatness. You came from motherfucking eating cow shit. You feel me? And that's when the nonsense, you know what I'm saying, kicks in. Because then you're dealing with babies. You lying to the babies in order to control the masses. Like you, God. Like you came from warriors. Now you stealing the identity. So now you stealing land. This shit is crazy all around the board. Our free was good.
Peace.
Jesus was a righteous man. You know what I mean?
What'd you say?
A prophet.
Hold on. I gotta punch out and punch back in. Hold on.
Yeah, this is a heavy bill. I love it. I know a lot of my Christian friends gonna be upset, but I don't care. I gotta get that information out. For those that don't know, that's my job. You know what I'm saying? It's my duty to get that information out. Well, Jesus was he wasn't no Caucasian. Hey, Free, let me ask you this, right?
What's that?
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Lake Avenue. Lake Avenue have something not only historical, but very holy and sacred on that street in Asbury Park. The Asbury Park side, Lake Avenue. If you go on Wade Barbershop, right?
Yeah.
And this is a good promotion for Wade too, because he in a historical spot that's been there. So next time you go to Wade Barbershop, I want you to go inside. If you don't get a haircut, I want you to, get a bean pie or get something. Support them, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And then once you do that, I want you to go into the doorway, right? And look at the church across the street. You with me right now? You envisioning it?
Yeah, I've been in there.
No, I want you to look from Wade Barbershop. Put your line on this spot.
Mm-hmm.
In the doorway.
You thinking about?
Okay.
You saying visualize that church way back in the day?
No, right now it don't matter. What I'm about to tell you is there still to this day. It's been there for 100 years.
Put your headphones on, Reef. You sound too muffled to me.
No, I'm away from. I was away from the.
I know.
So
even when you close to it, you sound muffled to me. I don't know. But go ahead.
How about now?
Go ahead.
So at Wade Barbershop, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, Wade Barbershop. I want you to go in there and purchase something to support the brother. Then I want you to stand in his doorway. And I want you to look at the church across the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the very top windows, straight ahead, and you're going to see, I believe, 3 images in mosaic glass, real big windows at the top. They got Jesus, I believe, and 2 disciples, and they black. Nobody never peeped that. Next time you go there, look, they got black Jesus in the window. That's been there for years. Matter of fact, all the images of people in those windows is black.
And when Jesus was supposed to be walking out in the Middle East, where the hell would you find guys named Peter and Paul, etc.?
Right. Yeah,
where would you find them?
Come on, bro.
So the point I'm trying to make is, for them to display them images, they're only showing truthful shit, and I get that. It's just, you got to go through. I mean, you talk about read between the lines.
That's a translation. They translation of the names. Them names are different. All of this, like they say, just like they say, Jesus' name was Yeshua. What is it? Yahshua? What was it?
Yashira.
Yeah. So all of them had different names, man. America just switched it
up. Back in those times, they had different gods. They had a sun god named was Jesus, and they had different kind of gods back then.
Right, yeah, so they switched the knowledge up anyway. But my whole point is today.
Well, this how they came up with the Christianity thing. You grab different. You say you take the best part out for yourself, and then you come up with your own understanding. But what they did was they took this from that, this from that, this from that, this from that, and then they hired. They got one of those artists, Michelangelo, I think it was. It
Right,
was one of the to draw the image of that you see now of
right.
Jesus. You see what I'm saying?
That was
And
like
they,
that was like his cousin or some shit, his gay cousin or something.
Michelangelo was black.
I,
Okay, all four of those artists was black. They're not telling us that though.
where you get that from?
I was just watching the Hidden Colors one day, and I can't think of one of the brothers who broke it down on there. I can't think of his name, but he explained how all four of those artists was black. So was
So
Mozart. So was Beethoven.
so 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 it was a black guy that painted a white Jesus. Well, he was a sellout.
Mm. Now, well, with the power of money or aggression, could change a motherfucker mind like that. You know what I'm saying? Back then, the only way you get somebody to do something different was either through money or aggression. But I just don't think people was different. Their belief system and way of believing and worshiping was totally different from the way we do today. So I believe it was more of an aggressive thing.
So
You
you
know,
telling me? So you telling me?
I will force. I will if you don't draw this image, I will kill you and everybody in this house like that.
Yeah, I got to research that.
Yeah,
I mean,
either one of the two. Now remember, it was
makes
different then.
sense.
The
The
truth
people
was presentable. Was presentable, more presentable then. And for a person to just go against what they see clear as day and come up with something else, and it was like, well, this is wrong. This is wrong. All right, it's wrong now, but in 50 years, the people ain't gonna know the difference.
so they
So
was
all we gotta do is get rid of. I'm just
perfect.
saying, using a number. I'm just using a number. So you do all of that dirt back then. Of course, the people of that time will know it's a lie. Fast forward 1,500 years later, is those people going to know? No, because you're going to change everything. Sort of like how when you go into supposedly the images inside of the pyramids been scraped and scraped and scraped and whitewashed that the images don't look dark; they look light. So a baby, if my son go in there right now and see, he's gonna see a light image. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how, and he will believe there's a light image. The same way a majority of us, the first image of Jesus that we seen, we thought that was Jesus. We thought that was the actual until we learned, we lived and we learned more. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it worked. You gotta remember, they was dealing with all absolute facts and artifacts. So we talking about some of the strongest, the smartest people because they don't have, you know what I mean? Who can predict things, sort of like me and you could predict things, and they
We
were
got
right.
Esau. We got Alfred Bill.
You gotta remember, what the fuck is
So
uh,
you think at a point in time they was persecuting people with those black images of Jesus in order
you
to
said
submerge the truth?
you said what?
You think back then they was persecuting people that had images of black Jesus, and that's why Russia had it hidden in the cellar for all these years since the 1500s.
Well, if something's buried that deep and hidden and kept a secret so sacred like that, that secret was so strong of a secret. Of course, they was persecuting people and doing anything they could to keep this image or true image from being presented to the people because they wanted to start their own belief. They wanted to come up with this with all their own images and ways of Christianity that we know just ain't right. Back then, it wasn't so much wars over just resources. It was religious wars too. What you think? What you think the Arabs and the I want to say Christians, but I don't know. I don't know how to say this. The people who believed in that. What do you think they was fighting for at first? It
I
couldn't
don't
be no
know.
money. Couldn't be no money.
It was domination for either or religion.
Right. And with, you know, you breaking up, Lord.
I
What
said
you
it was
got?
dominant. You hear me?
Said, I hear you.
I said it was domination. See who can control the masses with each other's religion.
You said domination.
Yeah, as far as religion wise.
Well, as well, and in front of that, if I okay, let's just say this: if this group dominated this group, the only story that's going to be told is the one who dominated, right? If this belief system dominated this
Right.
belief system, and first of all, it started with it have to start with a conversation to an argument to a physical confrontation to straight domination, and that's just is what it's going to be. But again, I wasn't there, so you know I've heard many different stories. It's just that I want to say my assumptions, and when you think about it, this is the only thing. This is what I can I can come up with. It just makes sense to me. But we all know that these wars wasn't fought over the things that we fight for today because you didn't have these things. You did, but it was just wasn't the thing that you know you wanted the
But
land and you
look,
wanted
look,
everybody. You
look.
wanted the land and you wanted everybody to believe in what you believe in.
Right, you got the Jews fighting the Muslims still. What you think the Iran war in Israel, the Gaza Strip is? Them Muslims and Jews
You,
trying to
you
take
said
over.
what?
I said the war in Iran. That's two different religion beliefs too.
You have to be, yeah.
So this thing been dating back a long time.
Can you think of a time before the actual letters were invented? So, if,
The English.
for example, on Hidden Colors, I think it was three. The same brother who's speaking about the artist has indicated in one of his parts. He was like the letter J wasn't invented till like the 1600s, AD or BC. Now, was it even a thing then? During those times, AD or BC? No, it wasn't. So how do you come up with this name? And that wasn't the name of that person. I'm using that as an a way
Well,
of
look at
understanding that a lot of things that we go with today just wasn't factual during the times.
well, look at you can even look at towns and streets, corners and cities. All that shit been renamed. It's so bad. If you go to any town, you're gonna see the same names in any state, any town. You're gonna see a First Avenue, Second Avenue, and we know that them streets and all that shit was the name now.
Shit, look at our common towns. How many times have they changed street names? So imagine 1,000 years ago. Was Myrtle Ave Myrtle Ave? No.
Hell no.
Exactly.
That shit was
Where does the word
trees.
myrtle, the word or phrase myrtle even come from? That sounds like a name to me.
You know what I'll be thinking?
What's
Like
that?
the streets, we got Nasir in the building.
Who's not there?
Peace, what's good?
I'll be thinking like the streets, right, was dirt roads, and the sidewalks were trees, and they just knocked the trees down and made sidewalks and houses and shit. But
You go way back to those times before they had methods to make
routes and stuff.
cement. before they had methods to make pavement the way we have it today, I would assume it was dirt roads.
Yeah, basically they was dirt roads.
Yeah.
It's
Everything
like
was dirt roads
because
until
when you ride a horse, it make a path. You know what I mean? So them routes, a lot of them parks and shit that you go to, them routes is ancient.
Yeah. You don't even got to ride a horse. You can if too many people walk, like when you
Yeah,
walking through the field.
you keep taking that same route.
Uh-huh.
So
The grass start laying down, yeah.
a lot of these towns and shit. Even if you go to an old down south somewhere, they still got dirt roads where the people walk, roll horses and shit. That's their motherfucking street.
Yeah.
it wasn't until that Moorish or Master Mason Moorish methods of building came along till we got streets and sidewalks and stuff like that. So they put they print all over the world.
Yeah, but we was building shit too, man.
Yeah, but they
a lot
had
of people
castles
are
and
old
stuff.
as hell, man. How the buildings you see, this like somebody was on Instagram from Asbury, and they recorded that picture. I mean that church, and now I'm looking at it like, damn, that shit really gothic though. The church right there on Asbury Avenue, like right on the corner of 4J's. You know what I'm talking about? Like you 4J's and then on that corner on the left hand
Mount
side,
Carmel.
big ass church. Yeah.
You talking about Mount Carmel?
Yeah.
Right. You ever look how gothic and how that brick is? They ain't even brick. That's like a old ass fucking stone. Like the motherfucker took a picture. Like, look how old this shit is. I'm looking like, damn. You right. That shit look old as hell, bro.
Well, look how old the one look on what's that? 2nd Avenue? 2nd and
Right.
Main?
They tried to burn that down.
Yeah. And then was
Yeah.
another one. Then was the other
Yeah, but
one.
it's so old. It's built so different.
You talking about? Oh, you talking about the one on Third Avenue, on the corner of Third, on the corner of Third and Grand, right there?
No, you're right. Right there on. Is that Emory? That's
If
It's,
Second
if you
Emory. That's
it's
where the
before you
wick
get to Emory.
we used to get wick from. My mother used to take me there when I was little and get wick.
what about the one on the suburb part of Fourth Avenue when you come off a ridge? You make your right on
That's
the Fourth
another one,
and you
but that
walk through.
look
You know what
more
I'm talking
modern.
about?
It look more modern than the one he talking about.
Say it
And
again.
It look more newer than the one Nasir talking about. The one Nasir talking about, they claim it come from. It was just since the
What
1800s.
the one on? Which one? The
yeah.
one on Asbury Avenue, Trinity
Okay.
Church?
Nah, the one on 2nd Avenue.
Yeah,
2nd and Main. 2nd and
no,
Main.
no,
Behind that little Mexican club now. It used to be like an Italian restaurant. And then it was the church in
yeah,
back. As soon as you turn
Yeah.
off Main Street.
Oh
That's the one
yeah.
that
I
caught
get
on
you.
fire.
right.
They claim they couldn't knock it down because is it like a historical or something?
Yeah, the church right there. They speak about free lunches and stuff there when I was growing up.
Yeah, yeah. That church back in the day did a lot of shit for people though.
And if you come around more, they done made parts of it where there's attached to it into apartments.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. They don't care how old that shit is.
I guess they kept the study or the worship area what it is, but it's the into apartments now.
Now you don't
On the
remember
the
that.
one the part that's facing Third Avenue.
You don't
So you
remember
talking
they
about the
was
one right
talking
there
about.
that's going down Bond Avenue right there. The current right on it goes to the corner of Bond and Second right there. Yeah, and it take up that whole block. I know which one you're talking about right there. You go to the Third Avenue side of it. It's apartments.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it used to be Holy Innocent School used to be on
Right,
the side where they made the apartments.
right.
but not said. Check it out. I was telling
What
him.
Holy Innocents was there before they? It went, I thought Holy Innocents was always up the hill.
Nah, I said Holy Spirit. It used to be Holy
Oh,
Spirit.
Holy Spirit.
Look, I was telling him that. Um, I don't care what church you go to. they not gonna show you a black Jesus in that motherfucker.
You have to go overseas somewhere.
They're not gonna show you, not in America. Cause they get on to that oath. They can't reveal the truth. But I was telling him, right, if you go on Wade Barbershop, go inside of there one day, you know, if you don't get a haircut, buy a bean pie, buy a final call just to support them. And then I want you to stand in his doorway, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look up in the window. Look all the way up in the window. You're going to see mosaic glass. And they have three people, black people in the window and mosaic glass. You got Jesus in the middle. And I believe you got two of his disciples.
You talking about the church across the street?
Yeah, right in the window.
Yeah.
You seen it before? You seen the black people in the window? You never paid attention, did you?
I never paid attention, but I know they got the glass. I know I know the glass.
So next time you go, if you stand there way right in front of there and look up, you're gonna say, God damn, he was right. Those black people in there. And I believe it's Jesus.
I mean, is it the white Jesus that's with black skin, the white looking Jesus?
Man, it's black people. They got brown, I believe brown glass in there. And they got the black hair. I think it's afros. They got afros.
Yeah, I remember the glass, but I can't remember the images. But I remember the glass.
Good. Yep. But if you go inside, they ain't gonna show you that shit. You gotta catch it outside in the window.
You have to study that.
I wonder who did that. I wonder who made that.
I'm like you, and I say I never really peeped that, but I'm quite sure. You ain't the only person who noticed something like that.
I probably am, man. It's the Lake Eye Radio Show, man. You know?
Yeah, because a lot of black churches, they still got the white Jesus up there. You go
because they're not allowed to reveal the truth.
I think St. Stephen still got the white Jesus.
Yo, I was at a church, right? I ain't gonna say nobody's name because this is somebody we know, church. And he preaching. I waited till I was respectful. Oh, yeah, subscribe to the channel Lake Ave Radio Show on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. And get your live shout out now, man. And put it in the comments, man. We shout you out, man. You know, if you think you can survive, you can pull up on the show, man. Ask us anything. But subscribe to the Lake Ave Radio Show, man, on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Yeah, and all that. But I was at somebody's church. And he going off on the pulpit. He's going off. I said, look at him, showing out. But it's like he was directing everything at me, looking at me, hooping and hollering, caught the Holy Ghost, talking about how people need to change. And, you know, they come in the try to get within the congregation with it. The Lord ain't in their heart.
Who's going off like this?
I ain't gonna say no name, you know what I mean? Because I ain't
hear it. Sounds like I think it sounds like it's somebody. Okay, go ahead. Anyway, go ahead.
Off, you know what I mean? Looking straight in my eyes, and the chicken with she nudged me like, damn, it sounds like he talking about you, looking right at you. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna let him go. Wait till he worked up a sweat too. He was wheezing and shit. And you know how they say, oh, there's new people here. Anybody got something to say or wanna you know? Waited till people got up. Then I got up. I said, I noticed you got a big mirror of Jesus up there. He said, yes, sir. Yes, I do. I said, but what all the knowledge you got, you know, all the scriptures you know, all the truth you know and reveal. Why is he white? Everybody, you know how they whispering loud.
What they say, skin color don't matter. It don't matter if you green, red, blue, purple.
Nah, because he know we would have got into a whole conversation loud right there. He said, oh, he shut it down. He said, come here, let me speak to you, brother. Okay, I was like, what's that? He said, said, "Come on, man." He said, "You know what it is, man. You know, that's what he came around and said that at the end, like, you know, people, you know, they worship how they worship. We worship how we worship here, and we're not focusing on the image." I said, "Then why is he up there? Then? If you ain't focusing on the image, why you can't put a black motherfucker up there?" He's like, "I hope to see you next Sunday." I said, "Man, I ain't coming back here.
That's just
Get
like
all the fuck out of here."
That's just like I was watching something on. I had posted a while ago. I was watching something on BBC, the history part with the lady. I think she Ethiopian Egyptian. She be going around Africa and like interviewing and stuff and doing history. And she was like, when she went to the Ethiopian church, she was like, when she went to the Ethiopian church, she asked the head dude. She's like, I see, y'all make Jesus look like y'all. So what color was Jesus? And the head dude of the Ethiopian church in Ethiopia, he's like, well, Jesus was Jewish. He was a white man, but people make Jesus look like how they look.
Wow.
But then the crazy thing, like when they had a little holy holidays over in Ethiopian, like you would see them with big pictures of the white Jesus. They holding it up, big pictures, walking around. Like I said, wow. He said Jamaicans make Jesus look like them. Chinese make Jesus look like them. We make Jesus look like us. He said, but Jesus was the Jewish white man.
Yeah, he said, his job. You know his job. You know his motherfucking job. That they love him. They want to be like them. You think that they over there and they know their history tight. They don't. They don't know their shit. But you assume they do. They more fucked up than the motherfuckers over here.
Yeah, I was about to say because I was watching this thing. I think it was like in the. I think it was like in the 50s. It was in the 50s where they brought the college. Where they brought high school students over to the United States, and they just had like debate teams and whatever. And the Ethiopians kept telling the boy from Nigeria and the other boy from Ghana that he wasn't African. He was Hebrew. His skin turned black from because of the sun when they migrated from Jerusalem to Ethiopia. And they telling him, no, you're African. He telling her, no. He's like, my
They
skin
should
is
have
burnt.
smacked the shit out of them and looked at their head.
It don't go. It don't go
But listen,
from black to
this the thing though. Then they showed the ones that were still alive from the 50s. They showed them now. Now this guy, they asked him the same question. He said, I'm black, I'm African. He's better learned now.
He's a fucking weirdo.
But look how many people that you lied to or had them believe in that. They something else. Cause you got dummies in the world, man.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think what part. I forgot what part. I forgot what part it is, but they're black Hebrew Israelites. They might be in South Africa, Zimbabwe, wherever they at, but they say the same thing. They say they're not African. They said they turned black because when the men migrated from Jerusalem, they took on African wives. That's why they look black. But nigga, if your grandparents are African, that would make you African. Like
We don't want that responsibility because they can't
That's
run
it.
farms. They
That's some
can't.
fools with some kind of weird ass logic. I
They
don't
don't
get
want
it.
that
Go ahead.
kind of responsibility. They can't be up under their master. Man,
You gotta go get you some yogurt.
they can't appear to know the truth. You heard?
You were getting some
Yeah,
yogurt.
this a quick build, man. You know,
You feeling better?
you come back on here tomorrow. I'm gonna get out of here, man.
all right, peace.
Salute.
Peace. You coming back tonight?
Tomorrow, Lord.
All right. Peace.